Tesla. To get better at so many things. How can you even... Okay. So I have been reading books for a considerable period of time now. But I was not the type of guy who is born into a regular reading kind of environment. I was introduced to reading by my teacher in class 5, and since then I was on and off with the habit, reading a few books here and there. Later on in my life, I read a quote which is, all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers, but all leaders... I'm sure you know the quote. Then the leader inside me started pushing me to read all of these books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and all of the others. But then I realized something was not working out. These books filled me with the hope of a better version of me and a better version of my life. This hope in turn gave me a lot of motivation. But guess what? This motivation was short-lived. And unfortunately, books don't give us discipline. So sooner than I realized, I slipped back into all of the old habits that got me into reading the self-help book in the first place. And then the bridge, the seemingly unbridgeable gap between me and the version of me that the book showed me, that made me feel guilty usually. So, is reading a waste of time? Well, the answer is both a no and a yes. Only reading without execution of the knowledge in the book not just leads to waste of time, but also stress in the long run. Imagine you're reading a book about how to read more books, and the book tells you to read 20 pages each day. But you are reading a few pages a few number of times in a week, then the habit that you currently are in doesn't match the habit that you want to inculcate, which obviously makes you feel sad. Now, I have known people to praise the power of reading, and why not? I mean, you get to know the person that you would hardly have access to until you've worked hard through their books. In them, they have written down all of their methods, their unique techniques that made them successful, their beliefs that made them who they are, and their habits that have maintained the success that they have produced. Books can make you, they can turn you into the person that you need to be in order to get all the success that you so badly desire and deserve. Hamza speaks about having an extra 10 hours each day just to be able to read, and attributes most of his success to reading. Yet we don't execute the knowledge that we get from these books. Why? The closest answer that I've got to is we're lazy. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Nah, I'm just kidding. Although for some of us that is true, including me. There are a few reasons that explain our lack of execution without making us feel bad, because they take the blame off our heads. They explain why is there such a huge gap between our information acquirement and application. First of all, we were never, in our childhood, ever taught to actually apply in real life whatever we were learning. Except for the few times that we vomited everything out on the exam sheets and then forever bid goodbye to all the information that we had gathered. How the hell do we expect ourselves to suddenly start executing all the things that we read? Secondly, after a few times of the execution of the habit, we just feel like giving in because we've taken too big a bite of that. Imagine you were taught how to meditate, and then on the first day you meditate for an hour. Second day you could hardly do 50 minutes. Third day you drag yourself to 30 minutes. You don't have the habit of meditation. So fourth day you just give up. Thirdly, we are sometimes fooled by our own minds. Reading provides us a safe place which does not require much of the fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, while actually applying things means we could fail. So our mind fools us and keeps us there, and then gives us a false sense of progress until we later realize that we both lost time gathered information that we haven't applied, and increased stress too. Only reading without execution is but a trap that makes us feel like we are progressing, but at the end we are in the same place, or rather getting worse. So what's the call to action to this one? Execute the knowledge that you have read in the books. Wynne talks about developing a habit that is executing at least one idea that a chapter has taught you after reading that chapter. To make it more brutal and extreme, you could stop yourself from reading the next chapter until you have applied one idea from the chapter that you just read. I've been in this elusive phase of reading just for vanity purpose, reading as many books as you can, and also to give myself a fake illusion of making progress, because I was so scared of taking actions. I have been through this elusive accumulation of information phase. I hope you don't. Hey guys, I hope you liked today's video. New videos come out every Thursday until I don't get lazy and sometimes miss out. I hope you look out for them. I will see you all in the next one. Until then, this is Nikhil Om Shankar and you're watching NKS Nick.